finally achieved being an old person. Welcome to the Learning with Sterling show, where a university professor, mother of three, and Nintendo nerd shares her reflections on life in and outside of the classroom. And today I wanted to talk about the best part of teaching that you don't expect, which is it keeps you young. And why would I say that when I say I finally achieved old status? Well, this summer, I was talking to my students about when I took physiology myself, which I took it as a college senior, which was a decade ago, 10 years ago. And because of how life has been going, when I talked to them, I said, it was only 10 years ago. That's not that long. And the students just stared at me, right? They're 20. A lot of them are 20. So literally half their lives I've spent outside of being a student. And they just stared at me and I said, I'm old now, aren't I? And I want to point out, summer classes are much more chill, so they actually could give me this feedback. And in unison, they said, yes, Dr. Sterling, you are old. Which was funny for me to hear because I don't feel old at all. And I think it's for two reasons. One, I am not old. I am only 32. And two, because of the life circumstances that I have, the callings that I have are the kind that keep you feeling young. The first is being a mom. When you're a mom, yes, you are tired, and most small children are not tired. When you're young, you don't feel tired. But it's not the physicalness of feeling young. It's the spirit of youth, the joy, the wonder, the things that you think you lose as you get older, right? We talked about how you think you have to give up your passions on episode 1 of the podcast. And we talked about how people think that they have to stop doing the things they love or experiencing joy. And yet it actually doesn't have to be that way. And for a lot of us, it's when we have children that we realize that. I was fortunate in that I was able to have that moment before having children because of my amazing and husband who has this amazing childlike spirit. But what is important about when you have your children is they want you to be a part of their life. They want you to engage in the things that they love. They want you to be with them. And so you do all the things. You're playing pretend again. You're playing hide and seek and literally hiding underneath a table with a curtain over your head, hoping they don't see you, and singing songs that you haven't sang since you were in elementary school, and watching the shows that you loved as a kid and hearing them laugh at the jokes that you laughed at. And so you get to experience childhood again, but you're experiencing it through their eyes in a way that, you just you might not have done without them. And you encounter it all the time. And it is honestly one of the greatest joys of my life is to be with my kiddos and to continue to experience that joy. Teaching is a lot like this as well, right? So I have my two callings of being a mother, wife and mother, and a teacher, a professor rather. Teaching is sort of a spiritual motherhood, right? I am not their biological mom. I'm not their adoptive parent. I'm not their actual parent in any way. But in the spirit of motherhood, right, which all women do have in some capacity, I am able to nurture and foster in them the things that bring them joy, that make them better people. And one of the best things to keep as we continue to grow is wonder and awe. There's an amazing book that's on my bookshelf called Awe. You can see it right back there, which talks about we as humans have much better mental health when we see awe in the world. And one of the best ways for us to learn is to have awe for the things we are learning, for the world itself, for creation, for just everything. Right? If we experience things with childlike wonder, with awe, as the author of the book states, we are better, and especially if we do that in community. right? So I talked about the childhood wonder and how amazing it is to do as a family, but it's also amazing to do in a classroom setting. So the more opportunities you get to experience awe and wonder alongside your students, the younger you feel because the childlike exploration is still there. And, you know, when you teach the same class over and over and over again, sometimes it can feel a little bit stale. Sometimes, you'll hear the same thing over and over and over again. But what's the greatest thing, and I think this is the thing that keeps professors and teachers young, is the aha moments. The moments that a student has where they experience the awe and wonder on something that you once experienced, right? So like when I am teaching the kidney and we're talking about the pH balance in our body regulated both by the respiratory system and the renal system kind of coordinating together. I remember when I figured that out for myself, I was just like, this is crazy. We just need to breathe. And my students every year, this is a very hard topic. It's probably one of the hardest topics that I teach. When they get it, sometimes it's after the exam and they get it like right before the final, or they get it, in graduate school and they email me, but they get it. And I get to see that intellectual wonder that I experienced as a student back again. It's similar to when I'm watching Pokemon with my sons and see them be excited and moved by things. It's the same thing here. So when we are in the classroom, and I think this is why it's so essential that all professors continue to teach, even the ones who are at research-based institutions where they're primarily there to be researchers. When we teach, that intellectual curiosity continues to be fostered, and we are reminded of where we've been. We're reminded of our youth. We live that out. We continue to be a part of it. It's amazing. And so that's why I don't feel old at all. I don't feel as if 10 years have gone by since I sat in a classroom. It feels like it was yesterday, despite the fact I have 3 small children, a husband, a PhD, and a relatively successful career. It's because I've been kept young by doing the things that I love, by being with people that I love, and experiencing things alongside them. For those of you who are listening, if you don't have children, if you're not a teacher, find ways to experience awe and wonder in your life. Find ways to engage with the things that really inspired you or really moved you, even from childhood, elementary school, whatever. Find the things that moved you, because it's going to be what makes the difference in what keeps you feeling like a kid again, letting you feel the way that a lot of folks will say they missed, because it's never going to go away. You just have to keep engaging with it. Have a great week.